video is intended to give you a little bit of navigation around the site on Blackboard, or what we call eCampus at Dallas County. So when you log in to dcccd.blackboard.com, you probably have to go through some two-form authentication. Maybe not students, but I certainly do, which is frustrating. But just have to go through a bunch of hoops before you can finally get to this page. And so when you land here, this will show you all the courses that you're enrolled in. And so I will select a course here just to demonstrate. When you open that page, you will come to the landing page for the course, which I have it set to display announcements. So if I have posted anything important for you to know, it'll show up right here, and it'll be the first thing that you see when you log in. So we usually be updates about when one module ends, another begins, etc. I will also post the syllabus and the course plan here on this landing page so that you know kind of what day we're on. These classes move pretty fast depending on which course you're enrolled in. We do offer this class in 16-week format, so it's a little slower, but also we offer it in 8 weeks, and then the brutal 4 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever it is during the mini term. Nonetheless, this will give you some links on the left that are very important to know what's going on in the class. Probably the most important thing you want to know is where the course content is, and that is found here where it says lessons and assignments on the left. When you click there, you will see an outline of all the modules. So there's 8 modules, so that will either be one module per 8 week, or you'll have 2 weeks to cover a module in the 16-week period. And then if it's a shorter course, obviously we're blazing through these modules. And your grade is calculated very simply, in that you really have only four categories to be graded. So in those 4 categories, you have quizzes, which are based on the readings and the films for each module. That's 25% of your grade. The 25% of your grade comes from the discussions, where you will engage with your peers at least twice. So there'll be a total of 3 posts: your initial response to the prompt, and then 2 follow-up posts. Those posts are not accepted late, so at the end of the module, the discussions are over. So make sure you submit all 3 by the end of the module. So 25% goes to comprehension quizzes, 25% goes to discussions, and then you have a major paper in the class, which is a reflection on the shifting of cultural identities for Chicanos. And you also will make a trip to a fine arts or cultural event. Could be religious, could just be cultural, could be something in the arts, the visual arts, the fine arts. So be thinking about that from day one. You must attend an event. It's a very simple project. You're going to answer a questionnaire, and you're going to take some pictures and sort of prove that you were actually there. And then, turn that in, and you'll have the course paper, which will reflect over some of the films we watch and hear that we're viewing as fine art. And 4 categories, 25% each, equals 100%. So quizzes, discussions, term paper, fine arts or cultural visit with the questionnaire and photos submitted. So when you open up a module, you will see it. Well, it'll probably look a little different for you, so I'm going to put it here in the student view so you can see what it looks like from your perspective. Like I said, lessons and assignments. Module 1 opens here. You'll see a link to enter the module again. And then these films are embedded here, and you'll begin to watch them. Every module will have an introduction from yours truly, where I'm explaining what is in the module, what film we're going to focus on, or films. And I use the terms films, documentaries kind of interchangeably. When I'm referring to a movie, which is what we're really focusing on, I try to call that cinema. So if at any point there's confusion, we basically have documentary films, we have cinema, which are like, full feature-length movies we would go see at the movies, which a lot of these are. And some of those movies were also sort of artistic films as well, so they're a little more stripped down, in a sense, more artistic. So on the one hand, we're looking at a lot of material as art, but some of the films or clips or documentaries, that is actually helping us to fortify our understanding more than we're not looking at them necessarily as art. They're sort of instructional, helping us in that sense. So anytime you open a module, look at the content, the material on that page, you can navigate by clicking up here in the right corner. It'll move you to the next page. This is an article to read when you finish reading it. We're going to read a lot of film reviews mostly, because I think they give us insight in a way that academic articles might be a little more dense and kind of lose the point, whereas film reviews are straight to the point. And so we're going to balance our understanding of the movies that we are viewing as art based on their reception by both the academic community as well as popular culture. Progress to the next slide in a module, be some embedded films, in this case something from YouTube, and you'll just progress through everything in the module. Eventually you'll get to the movie itself, where you will view the movie embedded right here. Then you get to the discussion, and this is where it'll give us some prompt, give you the parameters to follow. Initial post should be at least 300 words. Follow-up post should be about 150 words, no less, each. And no late discussions are accepted. And everything must be submitted by the end of the module. When you're ready to move to the discussion board, you just click to launch. As you can see here, this is an ongoing course right now. So you may not see that if you're the first person. If you click to launch, you have to create a thread. So you won't see your classmates. But if your other classmates have posted, you'll see that, obviously. But everyone is required to first create a thread. And it's just like sending an email. You probably have done this before, and if you haven't, that's okay. Everybody has a first time, but it's just like sending an email. Give it a subject, give it a body, answer the prompt, follow the rules, 300 words for your first initial response to the prompt, and then click submit. Now then, once you've launched over to the discussion board, it's not very easy to get back, which I always think if Blackboard was smarter, there would be a return to, the original place where you opened to the discussion board, but they don't have that, so they didn't ask me. Back in here, you have to navigate back to, well, actually, this gives me an opportunity to show you the other way to navigate through a module is here on the left. You have this table of contents. So where we want to be is on quiz, which was the last page in the module. And again, it's another kind of click to launch situation. When you click there, it'll take you to the quiz, and it'll give you some parameters, some rules, tell you what to do, let you know that there are multiple attempts. Quizzes have 2 attempts, and they're multiple choice. And so sometimes, a couple of possible answers, or 3 or 4, true or false, a lot of true or false, things like that. Take the quiz, save and submit, and yeah. So every module is basically going to be like that. You've got some things to read. You've got some supporting documents or documentary films and things like that will kind of help substantiate what we're talking about. And you will also have a discussion in every module. You'll watch some movie, some cinema. I think the only module where we watch more than one movie is the very last module, which is actually the shortest module for the 8-week classes, unfortunately. But we do watch 3 great films that deal with migration, and so that is one of the key points we're trying to address in our observation of how that issue is addressed through fine art. So that is where we end in the course ultimately. Now, of course, that issue comes up throughout all of our films, because obviously that is at the core of the Mexican American identity, is the process of coming from Mexico to the United States, and all the varied ways that happens and how it's portrayed in film. But anyway, you'll have a quiz, discussion, movie to watch. About midpoint, I think somewhere at the end of Module 4 or Module 5, you're going to have already been thinking and have selected where you're going to go for your cultural or fine arts visit. That is important, because I don't want anyone trying to figure this out in the last 3 or 4 days of class, and don't come at the very end of the class and tell me you can't go. The truth is, it's challenging for everyone to go somewhere they've never been before, if it's something you've never done before. I'm hoping that many of you will do something you've never done before. Go to a museum you've never been to. Go observe some sort of cultural event you may not have ever experienced. So it's not easy for anyone. Everyone works. Everyone has a job most of the time. And so you can't come to the end of the class and say, oh, well, I can't do that. You'd be surprised. It happens all the time, to which I'm always, very helpful to find opportunities for students to attend. But you do have to physically find a place, and I will help you if you cannot. One of the best places to go is a website called artandseek.org, and you can actually narrow down events based on the content. Now, it covers all kinds of art, so some of it is going to be related to our class. And for this cultural or fine arts visit, we can also broaden our focus a little more into Latino in general, if finding something specifically Mexican American or Chicano is difficult. So we broaden our perspective to include, other Latin American, anything Cuban, Puerto Rican, Colombian. But the focus of our class is specifically Mexican American, which is included in the definition of Latino, but we are, even more narrow in our focus. So if you can find something in the specifically Mexican American, Chicano, corner, that is what we're looking for. And depending on depending on what's going on in the DFW area, there's always something. I mean, there is a rich cultural, artistic sort of movement in DFW, one that we are often not even aware of. Major breakthrough stuff going on at the Dallas Museum of Art, them first now appointing an actual director for Latino art and having generous donations, exhibits, lots of great things in the works. So there's plenty of stuff to go to. All of that is to say, that's 25% of your grade, so make sure you do not neglect that part of this class. And lastly, we do have a term paper where we will take 3 films and we will analyze them. Now, all these details are found for these major assignments that I'm referring to. For one, I'll post them on the bulletin board on the announcements. And so, but if you want to see a link to those assignments, they are in the end of Module 8. And we have cultural visit assignment here. Comes with an attachment here, Mexican American Cultural Arts Visit. You can click on that, download it, and open it. Same thing here for the course reflection essay. Click here to download it and open it. But we're going to go back. So that's it. 8 modules, mostly one major movie for each module, except there are 2 major movies and a very thorough documentary for Module 8. And then we have the cultural visit. We have weekly or module discussions. So there's 8 discussions. Also, the course begins with a introduction from you as a discussion assignment and a small quiz that sort of checks that you understand what's going on with the requirements for the syllabus and some issues about plagiarism. So that is course navigation. Like I said, the landing page is going to be the announcements. Important information will be posted here. The content for the course is found here in lessons and assignments. And then the course description, the objectives for the class, links to your syllabus and your calendar. I'm going to try to get that into multiple places, but you will find a link here that has where you can download the calendar and the syllabus. And if you need to email me, I would prefer you not use this link here on Blackboard or eCampus that says email instructor, because that puts them into a weird Blackboard email inbox that I don't really see very easily. So you should always contact me directly, jaw0004 at dcccd.edu. If you have questions, reach out to me. You can also text me at 415-895-0539. And should be about a 24-hour turnaround. If you need to find that information I just rattled off to you, you should find it under instructor information. I think, maybe. Contact instructor. Yeah, here we go. No, that's not it. I'm lying to you. Somewhere in here, I bet it's under getting started. You can contact me. Well, if it's not there now, I'll make sure that it is readily visible and available. It's definitely going to be on the syllabus. So, if you have questions, look me up, contact me, respond. Oh, the other place you could also, I forgot to mention this, if you did have a question, you can go to the discussion board, and I have kind of what I would call a virtual office, and you can post questions here and ask questions, and we can confer there, where you can post the answers that might help other students as well that have similar questions. So okay, well, that is all that I have for this sort of navigation video. I'll see you all online. Good luck.